A historic Dungeons & Dragons online event. A Mindflayer invasion. Here is a story of my adventures during this epic one-of-a-kind never-before-seen Ilithid event. Buckle up for a crazy ride that takes you through the most amazing, best event in DDO history. I'm totally kidding, the event sucked. Likely it was the worst event in DDO history, worse even than the slap a dragon on the head with a pancake event that never happened, but if it did it probably would have been better. For the event I played on my main, which is an aura warlock. This means that I can stand there and do nothing and still wreck mobs like Studio Wildcard Rex games. I can turn my aura on and go AFK, walk down the street to the Chinese restaurant, order some pork fried rice and spicy chicken wings, all while my aura kills mobs for me. That's just how I roll. But today was different. I want to see the event and the invading Mindflayers. I looked around the harbor expecting to see their ships landing, and they're jumping out, storming the city, eating brains, kobolds screaming everywhere. But there was nothing but a red sky that looked like something out of a Fix song. Should have taken warning. It's just people ignoring, running, hiding, lost, you can't find a place to go, so it's red skies at night, whoa oh 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 oh. Up in the sky I spied all these phallic-shaped nautiloid ships, and I thought it was only a matter of time before they landed and began eating the people of Storm Reach. I got excited as a drunk at a Denny's at 3 a.m. because I actually thought I would actually witness carnage, and I could finally see that snarky Yorick Amanatu finally get his brains sucked out like they were the crowd's IQ at the Barbie movie. I wanted the Mindflayer army to treat him like a living extra-large bubble boba tea. But I didn't see any invading army. There were no Mindflayers. Where were they? I began to feel like I was back in college looking for a date, but there were none to be found in my virgin wasteland. Nowhere were there landing phallic-shaped ships or perverse tentacles, so I ran around looking like a jackass who had no idea where he was going, until I realized that maybe my brain had already been sucked out and I just didn't realize it. But that would have been extra complicated writing, and I knew the story wasn't complicated because it was just a marketing attempt to ride the coattails of Baldur's Gate's success. So, euthanizing my desire to complain, I accepted the existential dread that the event was stillborn and looked around again but saw nothing. There were just the normal NPCs and no invading monsters eating their brains. I went over to the diplomats from the Dragons of Argonnissen and asked the Charlie Sheen wannabe if he'd seen any invaders, but in true Charlie Sheen fashion he ignored me. So, I left and went to Baravia Ravenloft. There I ran into a group of homeless Vistani hobos crying about some wolves, and then found Sniper Wolf in disguise as an old lady there trying to sell a bunch of pot pies made out of her innocent homeless hobo neighbors for their mukbang YouTube channel. I began to lament that the invasion event in DDO was another missed opportunity, like the time my therapist dared me to go to the Taylor Swift concert, but I didn't go because I love her too much and didn't want to simp in front of other simping fans with a 13 painted on my hands, so decided to check somewhere else. Before I left, I checked the DDO website just to be sure I didn't hallucinate the entire event. It was there, I was not dreaming. Event confirmed. Then I remembered the bunch of lazy drunk orcs at the Gatekeeper's Grove who were always up in everyone's business. They would know. I went to see them but didn't expect much because every story involving them is just a cut and paste trope someone learned at an online writing class. I asked an orc where the Mindflayers were, and he sent me to talk to another orc that looked like an old Gandalf wannabe who smelled like Cher's thong and dressed like the 1979 Have a Coke and a Smile campaign. He did not know anything but tried to get me to help him find what I call lost toilet paper, but what he calls lost codex pages. Not wanting to get involved in any orc bathroom routines, I departed for the harbor and went underground into the sewers to visit the grimy dog turd kobolds that peddle fantasy drugs. They're getting high on Storm Reach toilet water and black pudding poop. The kobolds tried to sell me dream catchers and tie-dyed hobgoblin t-shirts but knew nothing about any invasion. I left the grimy kobolds and went over to the 12. I found some old man who thought he was in Steely Dan in 1974 and asked him if he knew anything about an Ilithid invasion. He replied, no, then gave me a phone number and told me, Ricky, don't lose that number. I said I'm not Ricky, but he said send it off in a letter to yourself. I left the 12 and went to visit the orcs out at Tangleroot and asked their chief if he'd seen any mind flayer invasion. The chief shook his head and sang to me. What the people need is a way to make 'em smile, it ain't so hard to do if you know how, gotta get a message, get it on through, oh now, mama don't you ask me why whoa ho ho, listen to the music. So I left those freaks, but one thing was clear. There was no invasion. It had been a whole day and I had not seen a single mind flayer slurping on brains like a fanboy simping on Pokemon's new cookies, so I figured maybe I would go to Sharn and look for signs of an invasion. In Sharn I found a fake Mr. Beast wannabe who told me nothing. But I overheard some players talking on Twitch and they said the DDO version of the Mind Flayer Squid games would unlock only if I did Reaper quests and hunted for the hidden Illithids in quests. I wondered if it was just some ploy to get me to run lots of quests. So I decided to quest in Sharn. I grabbed my box of Feastables, threw on some Mr. Beast React videos and got to work. I went in Sharn Welcome on R4 and found a bunch of very brain-dead but brain-possessing goblins who were all part of some imbecilic musical cult based in dumb Boston. They began chasing me saying, "It's more than a feeling, when I hear that old song they used to play, more than a feeling," and I begin dreaming, more than a feeling, till I see Marianne walk away. I'm not Marianne, I told them, but these goblins were straight up crazy kooks. I went through the quest beating up the musical cult like they were extras in a Keanu Reeves film, and then I got to the end thinking maybe I would see a mind flayer, but there were none. I finished and there was nothing, just some dinosaur who was so excited about Jurassic Park that he didn't pay attention to me killing him. So I decided to check online with my fellow content creators. They were too busy streaming then to talk to me, so I asked general chat to confirm I was hunting for mind flayers hidden in quests. Now usually in an MMORPG, general chat is the equivalent of an unflushed toilet mixed with vomit then chased with some Ed Sheeran lyrics, but today general chat was nice and a friendly furry neckbeard told me correct, the mind flayers only showed up in certain quests on Reaper. So I did another Sharn quest looking for some hidden mind flayers, feeling the event made no sense because how does an invasion occur in secret when there's Johnson-shaped nautiloids in the sky over the marketplace? Since it was all cap, I thought I'd show these Red Rain honey dips my moves and did my Fortnite dance on the boss. Cause all the pretty girls walk like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like pretty girls walk like this, like this, like this, like this, like all the pretty girls walk. I did not see one invader. I wondered what was happening. The event was advertised as an invasion. Did I misunderstand something? I decided to look up the word invasion in the dictionary. The definition I found was of that time a fan showed up at Logan Paul's house uninvited and the two boxed because why not do a weird stunt to hex the YouTube algorithm? Maybe all the mind flayers were at Logan Paul's house? I checked the internet and googled the phrase, "where is it happening?" and found a few links to aliens landing and a Rockstar Grand Theft Auto trailer. Yo, that's cap, I thought, there's no invasion. I walked to the local tavern for a 40 of mead. In the bar I heard a singer singing loudly. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop groovin'. It's like I got this music in my mind saying, it's gonna be alright. Cause the players gonna play, 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 and the haters gonna hate, 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 hate. Baby, I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. I shake it off, I shake it off. And with that I logged off.